What is going on, my people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your boy Nasim the Dream, and we are continuing on with the annual Ntd Awards. Today's video will be about my top 5 sets I've experienced this year in 2022. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just start off by saying I had an absolute blast this year. I really got to witness so many sets this year. I got to go to way more festivals than I ever really attended to by the year. I definitely want to do way more, but still I did get to attend a lot. I got to see so many sets. I had the pleasure of attending EDC in Las Vegas, Bonnaroo in Tennessee, Lollapalooza in Chicago, Pitchfork in Chicago, and Louder Than Life in Louisville, Kentucky. And because I actually do believe this year was probably the most sets that I got to see in an entire year, this was definitely a very, very hard list to make. But without a doubt, these top 5 picks that I chose right here, they were the most memorable to me. I had the most fun at them, and they had the best fundamental performance elements, traits, and qualities to them. And we're going to start with the number 5 spot that I will be awarding to CHVRCHES. CHVRCHES is a highly loved Scottish synth-pop group consisting of members Ian Cook, Martin Doherty, and Lauren Mayberry, and I got the pleasure of seeing them at this year's Bonnaroo, and man, this set just blew my socks off. So I've already been a pretty big fan of CHVRCHES ever since their second debut of their LP, Every Open Eye, and man, was this just a set to remember for Bonnaroo in 2022. CHVRCHES had the absolute pleasure of performing during the sunset, and there was something about that that really felt like so visually beautiful about that. I already really loved what they went about with the track list. I got to hear all my favorite songs from CHVRCHES. The track list in general was just probably what really had me hyped up, especially when they ended off with Clearest Blue, was just actually my favorite song from CHVRCHES. At first I wasn't sure if they were actually even play the song because we're getting close to the end of the set, and I'm like, damn, they're not gonna play it. And they played an encore track, and that's what that was, and man, it blew my socks off. I was so turned after that, man. I'm telling you, I started just screaming and chanting. I just lost my absolute shit. But man, they really nailed it in terms of performance on there. Everything was just so smooth and just so vocal. I love the crowd interactions that they're really going off with. Very brilliantly done. And yeah, CHVRCHES really blew my mind this year at Bonnaroo. There was a handful of performances there that I felt like were really top tier for this year. But man, I don't know, CHVRCHES is just the one that really resonates with me the most. All right, and then number 4, I will have to award that to the lovely Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa is one of the world's hottest pop sensations to come out of the UK, headlining this year's Lollapalooza Chicago. This set was absolutely ecstatic. The electricity coursing across this field during this performance was absolutely insane. The lighting that they went off with the performance, insane. The dancing was so infectious, man. Great dancing with pop performances like this are just what makes things so immaculate for the experience, and I just really had a good time. Dua Lipa seemed like super excited, as this was a very pinnacle moment for her, as this was the first time she got to headline Lollapalooza, as this is a festival that is truly near and dear to her heart, and she absolutely murdered that shit. I even asked my friends, that one of them that wasn't even that great of a fan of Dua Lipa, it fucking blew his mind. It was such a fun time. There was so many people in that crowd too. Man, not a soul inside didn't look like they were bored at all, man. She destroyed that. I love the backup dancers. Like I said, I love what she wore. It was just, there's so many great things about that. Dua Lipa on a growth level was really what put her on the top, and this is the reason why she's on this list. Like, she really blew my mind. The crowd reaction and attendance was, like I said, it was insane. It was gorgeous. It was absolutely amazing to see. A tremendous experience in 2022, and so worthy of being on this list. Coming out for the number 3 pick, I'm gonna give that to Bring Me the Horizon. UK metalcore rock band Bring Me the Horizon. It's been one of my most favorites of recent, and I had the pleasure of seeing them this year at Louder Than Life in Kentucky. If you watch my dream experience for Louder Than Life, you know that that was my actual first metal festival that I got to attend to, so that was just a very important moment for me. That entire weekend just was so near and dear to my entire life. But out of everybody I seen there, including the legendary Kiss, this was the band that just totally destroyed. The amount of high velocity pressure they were putting onto this crowd, making sure they kept up with the intensity, was just a sight to see. And I really love the awareness that they were going around with, and the reactions from the audience, especially this late in the day, the very first day. They were ready to throw down. Those mosh pits, those circle pits, they were throwing the fuck down. I actually really love their visuals, and their intro is probably my favorite out of this entire list, out of every set that I've seen this entire year. Oli Sykes is one of the best vocalists in rock music. for a reason. He really put on a show. He really knows how to lead a band, and man, the whole band just kicked ass. I really love what they did with the track set. My favorite songs were played, and man, did I lay everything on the fucking battleground. This shit was sick. Bring Me the Horizon is so fucking good live. It makes no damn sense. And if you are a fan of this band and you haven't seen them live, do yourself a favor, good sir or madam, and see them live. Number 2, I will be awarding it to my very first experience of the one, the only, the legendary Metallica. Metallica is just a name that needs no introduction, one of the world's most influential rock bands of all time, and I had the chance to see them as they launched as the main headliner for Lollapalooza in Chicago. Yes, it is true, this is my very first time of seeing the great Metallica, and it was a sight to see, an absolute wonder of the world, and they earned the Metallica name for a reason. I got to experience it in the flesh, and was it metal? Yes! They gave a great amount of time for Metallica to finish off in the very first day of Lollapalooza, and I got to hear countless favorites played on this track list back to back to back, and man, I thought it was just superb, especially ending off with Master of Puppets. It was kick the fuck ass. Not only was just this great memorabilia for a lot of old school fans that were greatly in attendance that night, but this was also a great service to fans like me who never had the chance to see a band like this and were afraid that they would never have. James Hetfield is just such a wonder to witness. The band just has such great chemistry with each other, and it really showed on that performance. They really deserved it. Everything just sounded super great, super crisp, not a stutter into any moments with the singing, with the guitar playing, with the drums. Everything was just on point. I loved the energy on there. Totally constant the entire time. And Metallica, you are one of the greats for a reason, my friends. The number 1 spot, my favorite set of 2022, one of the most amazing and incredible, memorable, and important sets of my entire life. I will be awarding that to Roger Waters. Roger Waters is the pinnacle of unforgettable rock and roll songwriting and performance. The former lead singer of the one and only Pink Floyd launched his final tour, This Is Not a Drill, that I had the absolute honor to be a part of at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Now, I knew I would absolutely be floored from this performance. Okay, Pink Floyd has some of the best songwriting and performances of all time, some of the best rock projects, if we're gonna even talk about The Wall, Wish You Were Here, Animals, The Dark Side of the Moon. The list just goes on because this band is seriously, in my opinion, the greatest band of all time. The reason why bands like this have been like super close to me personally about what I really enjoy from music is the way that they go about when it comes to inspiring other songwriters, other musicians, and not only that, upcoming youth about the truth in society and government. That's always been one of my favorite things about Roger Waters, about how he loves to speak his truth, speak his mind about what is important to him, especially why bands like System of a Down are so very close to my heart. I just really love how they're just super bold and they just don't care about what the public really wants, what they care. They care about what they want to say into their message that is just super important, more than words can speak, into their music. I really loved and respect how Roger Waters went about with this bold presentation of like these modern dilemmas in the news, such as exposing former presidents for their crimes, as well as recognizing the unjustly killings of innocents by police, such as the well-known George Floyd. With that, and combined with the visuals that he got to present for his tour, they're unforgettable. I think that was like one of the best things that I really got to see out of every set. Sure, it was probably a little bit of a factor that really had him above most else, because sets like these, when it comes to performing at a dome, performing at a stadium, they usually get more power and creativity for their sets. With some of these videos that you're looking at right now, honestly, these videos do absolutely no justice. When you're in there seeing everything in person, hearing him for his performances and with the songs that go about with these visuals, it is captivating, absolutely captivating. The performance was absolutely unbelievable. I loved all the bandmates that he had presented onto that stage, everything when he gave to their time for solos and certain acts into transcending and transitioning into other songs. Roger Waters really takes the cake for everything. When it comes to all the bands that I got to see for the first time that are absolutely OG, Roger Waters He is a spectacle. Man, was this a set I really never ever thought I would ever even get to see anything from Pink Floyd live. As much as that reality scared me, I think that's what really heightened this experience even more, because after watching this set on my way home, I could not believe that I got to see Roger Waters. I started bursting in tears because of how happy I was that I can die knowing that I got to see one of the best of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my top 5 sets of 2022. Guys, let me know what do you think of my list. Did you get to see any of these guys at any of these shows or festivals? Let me know in the comments down below. What were some of your favorite sets? Also, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. It really helps out the channel. I appreciate it so much, and I hope you have a great night. Deuces.